Next, let's look at guidelines regarding histogram charts. Use histograms when you want to see how your data are distributed across groups. Say, for example, that you've got 100 pumpkins and you want to know how many weigh 2 pounds or less, 3 to 5 pounds, 6 to 10 pounds, etc. By grouping your data into these categories and then plotting them with vertical bars along an axis, you will see the distribution of your pumpkins according to weight, and in the process, you've created a histogram. At times, you won't necessarily know which categorization approach makes sense for your data. You can use histograms to try different approaches to make sure you create groups that are balanced in size and relevant for your analysis. Here are guidelines regarding histograms. Use histograms to understanding the distribution of your data. For example, to display the number of customers by company size, student performances on an exam, or frequency of a product defect. Use histograms to test different groupings of data. When you are exploring your data and looking for groupings or bins that make sense, creating a variety of histograms can help you determine the most useful sets of data. Add a filter. By offering a way for the viewer to drill down into different categories of data, the histogram becomes a useful tool to explore many data views quickly. Next, let's look at guidelines regarding bullet charts. When you have a goal and want to track progress against it, bullet charts are for you. At its heart, a bullet graph is a variation of a bar chart. It was designed to replace dashboard gauges, meters, and thermometers. Why? Because those images typically don't display sufficient information and require valuable dashboard real estate. Here are guidelines regarding bullet charts. Used when evaluating performance of a metric against a goal. For example, sales quota assessment, actual spending versus budget, or performance spectrum, comparing great, good, and poor. Use color in a bullet chart to illustrate achievement thresholds, including color such as red, yellow, green as a backdrop to the primary measure lets the viewer quickly understand how performance measures against goals. Add bullets to dashboards for summary insights. Combining bullets with other chart types into a dashboard supports productive discussions about where attention is needed to accomplish objectives. Next, let's look at guidelines regarding heat maps. Heat maps are a great way to compare data across two categories using color. The effect is to quickly see where the intersection of the categories is strongest and weakest. Here are guidelines regarding heat maps. Use heat maps to show the relationship between two factors. For example, segmentation analysis of target market, product adoption across regions, or sales leads by individual sales representatives. Vary the size of squares. By adding a size variation for your squares, heat maps let you know the concentration of two intersecting factors, but add a third element. For example, a heat map could reveal a survey respondent's sports activity preference and the frequency with which they attend the event based on color, while the size of the square could reflect the number of respondents in that category. Using something other than squares. When using a heat map, there are times when other types of marks help convey your data in a more impactful way. Next, let's look at guidelines regarding highlight tables. Highlight tables take heat maps one step further. In addition to showing how data intersects by using color, highlight tables add a number on top to provide additional detail. Here are guidelines regarding highlight tables. Used to provide detailed information on heat maps. For example, the percent of a market for different segments, sales numbers by representatives in a particular region, or population of cities in different years. Combine highlight tables with other chart types. Combining a line chart with a highlight table, for example, lets the viewer understand overall trends as well as quickly drill down into a specific cross-section of data.